Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, June 8th. We're back for another live. Happy and blessed to be here. And yeah, we're just going to talk about Diddy's sentencing. There was a hearing today to expedite or not. From what I understand, the judge hasn't even responded yet. He's going to respond in writing. Yet their headlines say otherwise. And this is what I don't like. That shit I don't like. So yeah, I'm basically just gonna let you know how it goes. If you're brand new here, welcome. Relax and chill. We're gonna talk about what happened in the court. It was very brief. First of all, I need a sound check. Can I get a sound check? Hello, hello. Talking to you, Wow Wayne. Turn your TV down. But yeah, I'm going to give it a few minutes. Skip ahead if you are in the replay or chill out for a couple minutes. I will be right back because this is a live broadcast. Yeah. But yeah, Diddy, I guess they figured out they ain't gonna just walk him right up out them doors. You're not just gonna walk that man out like you thought. Okay, thank you, Wild Wayne. All right. So yeah, hang out. Give me a minute. The time has come. We made it through the end of this trial. We are finally at the place of finding out how much time, if any, more will this person actually do. We never thought we would. Peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back to Goddess Dawn Speaks. I am Goddess Dawn, aka the $1 trillion goddess, aka the queen of info, honey. Yes, get into it. It's a mindset, a frequency, and a vibe. And if vibe, then bye. I'm just saying. What's going on, chosen ones, warriors? I see you. Wow, Wayne, Antonia Maria. Hello, the Black Letter Law. What's going on? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Michelle, Ray, all day. Yes. He said life. Is that the sentence? Michelle said, Diddy slip through the cracks. I don't know what the point of this hearing was. The judge had said that he was going to set the sentencing for October 3rd. But then all of a sudden, the defense is like, no, we need it sooner. The judge says, okay, file your memos. And they did. And basically ended up saying we're going to stick with the original date. Let me pull that up real quick. Well, before I pull that up, let's look at this verdict. We got to just look at it and make sure. Did y'all really not give him RICO? So yeah, count one, not guilty. So because that's not guilty, then no other remarks are needed for the rest of this, which it should have all been proved guilty and then proved. Kidnapping, arson, bribery, witness tampering, not even witness tampering he didn't get, forced labor, as trafficking, Mann Act. And he got the Mann Act on the other charge. So that would have been one automatic. They would have need one more. Okay. The narcotics distribution. It was all up and through that trial. All of these things. But, it is what it is. And yeah, letting it go. So yeah, they posted that in the docket. But I'm going to pull up what Mark said. Well, actually, before that, let's go to court. Let's go and see what happened in the courthouse. It was a very brief session. I guess it's Inner City Press. Hold on. Yeah, so Inner City Press was at the courthouse doing what they do. Thank you to Matthew Russell Lee for his consistency and his contribution. So I know his ears are burning. Everybody's talking about Inner City Press. So he says, in U.S. versus Sean Combs hearing on expediting sentencing, there was a joint letter. Yeah, I guess the joint letter will be before the actual sentencing expediting hearing. So let me pull that up first. I know. So this one would have been the most recent one. Docket number 449 filings. So this is coming from Agnifalo's office, filed today before court to the judge. The parties have met and conferred and have agreed to the following schedules for sentencing, post-verdict motions, and submission of offense conduct to the probation office. For sentencing, the parties proposed the court's original date of October 3rd, 2025. The defense proposes that the probation office provide the parties with a pre-sentence investigation report, a PSR, on or before August 29, 2025, that the defense objections to the PSR be filed on or before September 25, and that the government objections to the PSR be filed on or before September 12, 2025, that the probation office disclose their final PSR September 18th, 2025, and that the defense's sentencing memorandum be filed on or before September 19th, and that the government sentence file to be filed on September 26, 2025. The government and the probation office do not object to this schedule. So they've already met. All of the parties have met, they've conferred, they've hammered out all the details and have presented it to the judge in this letter. Now, there was a previous letter proposing a date of September 22nd, which would have been just like 10 days or so before the original date. So it looks like they decided very quickly to go back and let the judge have his date. Why be difficult when you don't need to be? Now it says for post-verdict motions, the parties propose that the defense file any post-verdict motions on or before July 30th, 2025, and the government respond on or before August 20th, 2025. Post-verdict motions, they're saying. Finally, the government requests that it be permitted to submit its summary of offense conduct on or before July 11th, 2025. And the defense does not object. We appreciate the court's consideration. Respectfully submitted by Mark Agnifilo. So the government says the government has requests that it be permitted to submit its summary of offense conduct. So this is a summary of conduct that is going to have all of Diddy's offenses to their knowledge based on the evidence they have collected. And these are things, I don't know if this is going to be uncharged stuff too, or just stuff sticking just to the trial, but they're going to put all his bad boy behavior on the record so that when the judge makes his final decision on the actual sentence, he can have all that information at his ready. It's going to be all nice and put together neatly in a memo, a summary of offense conduct. That's going to be interesting. So, according to this, the judge was going to, well, let's go. Okay, so this was what was proposed to the judge prior to court. Now let's go to court and see what happened. Okay, so press reports that he refers to this letter that I just read, says new letter suggests October 3rd for sentencing. Mark Agnifilo says, and so mind you, this is a remote hearing. So I guess they're on the phone or on some type of a Zoom, but it says Mark Agnifilo, Sean, is that you? Combs says, yes, where are you? Agnifilo says, in my office. Notice how Diddy is clocking Agnifilo. Where are you? Is that you? Yes, where are you? Like, I guess he was expecting him. He says, I'm in my office. The deputy says, is the government on? And USA Slavic says, yes. The deputy says, beyond the letter, anything? They say no. They don't say who says no, but it says no. The deputy says, we'll get back in writing, adjourned. Did the judge even show up for this? I don't even think the judge showed up. Okay, well, so that was it. That was the hearing. And the judge doesn't look like was present. Somebody commented, summarizing, the hearing was short. Everyone showed up. A new letter proposed October 3rd for sentencing. No arguments, no surprise. The judge said they'll respond in writing. Just a quiet delay in a case that's been loud from the start. Yeah, that was a very, very quick and to the point. And this is why Hence, they weren't in there in person. It's like, why waste your time, energy, and whatever else you need to use to get here? We can do this on the phone. So they called in this fact that they all agree on this letter that was submitted to the judge, and the judge is going to get back. And I'm going to definitely keep my eye on this docket on a daily, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be post verdict motions filed. There's going to be all types of filings, all in between now and October 3rd. Now, people out here are hollering and screaming about the fact that this guy, Diddy, isn't going to do any time. Diddy is coming home. First, it was the day of the verdict. Then it was he's going to get a bond, even after the judge said no, very sternly, by the way. People still want to say, no, he's going to get bond. He'll be out tomorrow. He'll be out by Friday. Still no, right? Now it looks like his team has come to terms with the fact that this man is not going to just walk out those doors. It seems that they read the room when the judge said what he said about the fact that, Diddy, you are a violent man. You admitted it. Your attorney, Nifilo, said it in his closing argument. There's no denying. So with that said, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. But that's pretty much it for that. So I wanted to also read this article, child, from the New York Post. Now, I have been thinking about this attorney, Robert Shapiro, from the O.J. Simpson trial, because Alexandra Shapiro's name, obviously reminded me of him, and I questioned, were they related? Now, I had heard recently that they were not, that there's no relation between the two. However, he has, this esteemed attorney has given his opinion on what Diddy is facing as far as his time. Now, the article reads, Sean Diddy Combs could face substantial prison time after guilty verdict. O.J. Simpson lawyer warns. Okay, this was published today. It says, despite his partial acquittal, I guess that's fair, on federal charges, Sean Diddy Combs has remained behind bars as he awaits a decision on the judge's sentencing. Speculation as to how much time the rapper would spend in the slammer circulated after Diddy beat the RICO charge that would have landed him in prison for life. Robert Shapiro, the first member and initial chair of O.J. Simpson's defense team, gave a grim prediction regarding Diddy's potential sentence. After being found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, Diddy's judge proposed his sentencing hearing take place on October 3rd. Now, Shapiro says, I have to look into a crystal ball, and this is going to be a call that only one person is going to make. Shapiro told Fox News Digital, many times we will rely on a probation report or a pre-sentence report where they calculate the guidelines. According to Shapiro, judges will typically follow these guidelines, and the former defense attorney has estimated the range in Diddy's case would likely come out to be in the 2.5 to 3.5 year range. Whether or not he had a criminal history, I don't know. That could raise it, which we do know he doesn't, even though I feel like he does, because I feel like I know some stuff that he has that he's done, that he's responsible for, that he's guilty of. Personally, I know, absolutely. But I'll say allegedly for the record. But I do feel like this guy has a long record. Like, what about like the situation with the school back in the 90s where those people got trampled and like 9 people were unalive there? He skated on that. Okay, the club Pum Shine took the time and he skated on that. And then there's so many, all the other things. Biggie, Pac, Kim Porter. I don't want to disrespect the dead by mispronouncing names, but Shakir Stewart, I think is his name. There's many other people. to be considered. And we're not even talking about lives. That's just the most grave thing. But there's also careers, dreams that were crushed, harm that was done physically and emotionally and spiritually. But he's saying that, if he if he had a criminal history, he would probably look at more time or predicting more time. But he said, but having said that, and having seen that this judge did not release him on bail, I think a message may be coming that you're going to be spending a lot more time. So no reason to let you come out and come back in. And there you have it. Wow, he has aged. I guess we all age, man. Wow. Shapiro pointed out that Judge Arun Subramanian brought up the 2016 surveillance video showing Diddy attacking his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura when denying the rapper's bail application. The judge looks at that tape in his mind and is reminded about it again. I think there's a real chance that a substantial sentence will be forthcoming. Diddy could spend a maximum of 20 years behind bars, 10 years for each count on which he was convicted. However, prosecution suggested the rapper be kept behind bars somewhere between 4 and 5 years. Celebrity lawyer David Chesnoff noted that while circumstances of Diddy's case would generally lead to a low sentence, Subramanian can actually do a variance. The criminal defense attorney explained that the sentencing guidelines don't take into account other factors that the judge is allowed to consider. He says the guidelines in this case, based on what he got convicted of and the lack of criminal history, would lead to you to think that it would be a rather low sentence. And considering the amount of time he's in, he'd be out quickly. But on the other hand, the judge is allowed to do what's called a variance when the guidelines don't take into account factors that the judge is allowed to consider. He said, I've got a sense from this judge that he feels Diddy is deserving of punishment. However, he wouldn't have kept him in. Otherwise, he says, he wouldn't have kept him in. So it's hard to speculate. The maximum sentence is 10 and 10. That's very unlikely. But do I think he'll get somewhere above that, what the defense wants, and lower than what the government wants? I think he'll split the baby. Yeah. The tape is hard to turn your head, and ignore. It was a big part of the trial. Not big enough, in my opinion, but they did say they played it so many times, and it could have desensitized the jury to it. It says during a press conference following the verdict, his lead counsel, Mark Ignifilo, boasted that the team wasn't going to stop until Diddy walked out a free man to his family. He says, we're not nearly done fighting. We are just getting started. This is what he said outside the courthouse. He said, to win this and defeat the prosecutors from the Southern District of New York takes effort from beginning to end. Today was a major, major step in the right direction. But we fight on, and we're fighting to win, and we're not going to stop until he walks out of prison, a free man to his family. And Ignifilo about is that feather in his cap that's going to raise his rates and get, more substantial clients. Diddy's judge denied the rapper bail package following his partial acquittal. Subramanian claimed Diddy's violence within his personal relationships, to which Combs owned up. Remember, he has that apology video on record as well. And the judge is going to look at all these things. He's going to review everything. All of that was a contributing factor of his reasoning for keeping him behind bars. According to the federal judge, there would be no way to guarantee the safety of others should the musician be released. And that actually was a very strong statement that the judge made. Just that one small statement said so much. I can't trust you to be on bail. Period. Even though you were found not guilty of the higher charges, you need to stay here, because you might try to flee when you find out what I'm going to give you. You might try to hop on that jet. How dare his team say the jet is grounded in Maui? That's why you can trust that he's not going anywhere. Okay, let's see. Ray all day. How about 15 and a half equals half the time he's been terrorizing? 15 is fair, I say. Michelle said that was quick. Oh, yeah, that was a really quick hearing. Thank you for the bells. Hey, Miss Ashanti Dawson. Hey, Shamina. Let me grab me some water. Hello. Nia said October is wild. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's October. October is right around the corner, but it does seem it's a whole new season. Okay. That's fall, right? So he can sit his ass down for a minute, and he is barking at people on the phone. I hope they still monitoring his ass, because he might be out here threatening folks. And I feel real bad for the people who did come out and they testified and thought maybe, he was going to do some real time. Not to say he's not going to do no real time. We don't know. But imagine now finding out this man done beat the Rico child. Because I think it was a real possibility he was not going to ever come out of that jail. Ray said, I think I heard the judge say, take that, after he denied. He probably, if he didn't say it, he said it in his mind. He probably did. So you think about this article. I think that of his legal expertise, however, or the ability to give it, but I feel like the judge sent a very strong message, not giving him bond, and by what he said, he was letting him know. So I'm wondering, how safe is the judge? Like, is he going down to the underground parking garage by himself? Does he get an escort, or there guards around him at all times, like I think is necessary? And that's the other thing. I think I said this, but why didn't he sequester that jury? He should have taken their devices and sequestered them. And it sounds like punishment, but that's the only way this thing could have been done right. And maybe even taking it out of New York. But so y'all saw the verdict sheet, which was about nothing. Okay, we saw the sentencing schedule, the letter that was written to the judge jointly by all the parties, including pre-sentencing, and the fact that we will be hearing the final verdict or sentencing date, I guess, the final sentencing on October 3rd. October 3rd. But mark my words, this is not going to be the last of this Diddy situation until then. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on in between time. So I'm going to be here with all of it. So don't go nowhere. Make sure you have liked this video, share, and subscribe as well. And I'm going to go ahead and end this one. I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love, y'all.